Adjust your dial. This is what talk radio is supposed to sound like. With your hosts Dave Carney, Chad Forster, and Tammy Grable. This is Live Las Vegas.
Welcome to Live Las Vegas here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Dave Carney, sitting alongside my co-host Chad Forster. And from the Las Vegas Women's Magazine, Tammy Grable. Great to see you guys today here on a gorgeous Friday in Las Vegas.
Absolutely beautiful. Mother's Day weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
And I'm excited I'm on the intro now, so thank you so much.
Well, you know, it's the fine production work of Mr. Forster over there. Way to whip it all together, and Angie behind the boards for getting it on so quickly. Guys, great weekend here in Las Vegas. Like you said, Chad, it's Mother's Day. Great weekend for sports fans, though, around the country. And, guys, we're going to jump in right now with a very special sports carnival. Let's get to it.
Covering the sports stories that come from everywhere. It's time for the Sports Carnival with Chad and Dave.
All right, here we are, the Sports Carnival with Chad and Dave. And today we are talking with a very esteemed guest, the former head coach of the New York Giants, great friend of mine, and, of course, the former head coach of the Las Vegas Locomotives, two-time champion here in town, Jim Fossil. Coach, great to be with you today. How are you?
Coach, you there?
All right, well, we've got Coach Fossil on the line. We know he's coming on with us. Coach will be with us here in just a second. We're having Coach Fossil on today, guys, to talk about the very exciting NFL draft we had last night. The 2014 NFL draft kicked off, in grand fashion, Chad, as it has been known to do, in even grander fashion every year over the last 25. But there was some big surprises in this one.
Yeah, I thought the biggest surprise, and not to state the obvious, was Jacksonville picking up Blake Bortles at 3. I thought for sure that it would be Johnny Manziel before Blake. We'll talk to the coach here. I think we have him on the line right now.
We've got him. Hey, Coach Fossil, you with us now?
I am. I've always been here.
Oh, well, you know what? I couldn't get you. You are always there, and I couldn't hear you, my friend. But great to have you here on the program. You know, as we said here in the lead, the 2014 draft was, it kind of went as a lot of people expected, but there were some big surprises. Coach, first of all, just tell us, were you surprised the Jaguars went Blake Bortles number 3?
No, not at all. I think the guy's got a huge upside. I mean, he's a big guy. He's 6'5". He's got a strong arm. He did some phenomenal things this last year in college, and so I think that they probably made the right move on that. I really do.
So, as a player, as a quarterback, I mean, when you compare Blake Bortles to a guy like Johnny Manziel that fell all the way down to 22nd, went to the Browns, I mean, how do you compare those two, and do you think that he's more hyped than he is actual, legitimate football player in the NFL?
Well, I think this. Johnny Manziel was a great college quarterback, but I think he's got to make some changes in how he plays the game in the NFL. You know, so many of his plays, he was running around in the pocket. You saw how many times guys grabbed him and he broke free, and he's running with the ball in one hand. You're not going to get away with that in the NFL. You're not. The defensive linemen and the linebackers chasing you are probably faster than he is, a lot of them. And, what I've always said is this. Tell me a scrambling quarterback. I'm talking about a guy that always scrambles to beat you. How many of those guys have won a Super Bowl? None that I know. Okay? I mean, you had prime example is Steve Young. When he was at Tampa Bay, he was a scrambler. He didn't beat you from the pocket. You got to have a quarterback that beats you from the pocket. Steve Young didn't do it there. He went with Bill Walsh, the 49ers. Bill disciplined him and got him where he was comfortable in the pocket, and he could beat you from the pocket. And, by the way, he could get out of the pocket and beat you, too. Johnny Manziel, at his height, he's got to show me in the NFL that he can beat teams from the pocket. Not like RG3. You see how he struggled. All right, the minute those guys have the ability to scramble, they don't stay with their progression and move a little bit in the pocket and make the throw.
Well, Coach, let's talk about, some of the coaching elements of the NFL draft. I mean, walk us through a little bit of what an NFL head coach has to go through when you're really looking at the draft board change by every pick, I mean, obviously your line coaches, are looking at certain kind of line guys. Your offensive coaches are looking for certain players. But as a head coach, you have to look at everybody. Talk to us a little bit about that and what kind of pressures come with that.
Well, I think you really have to be organized, and you learn it from being a head coach or being in the NFL for a while. What I did was, yeah, you're right, Dave. I mean, the DB coach looks at the DBs. The offensive line coach looks at the offensive lineman. That's all they're interested in from the standpoint of scouting, down to combine, everywhere. As a head coach, if you're in the final decision-making process, you got to see all those guys. How do you compare a defensive end with a wide receiver? Okay, scouts have that ability because that's all they do full time. What I did was 2 weeks prior to when we started drafting. Okay, that's with everybody. Scouts, coaches, everybody's in the building in the same room. What I did is I had every coach had to be set up the night before. We started at 6 in the morning, and I would sit down with the offensive line coach, and we'd put the first guy up, and we watched the combine. We watched highlights of his college career, if he played in a bowl game, and I read his report. And that's the only way I could fill that many people if every coach got themselves organized. And I'd take one day per position. One day I'd have the offensive line. Next day I might have the DBs. Next day I might have the quarterbacks, on and on and on. And that's the only way that I could efficiently. Otherwise, that would take me 6 months to go all the film and the reports.
So, Coach, when you're looking at when it comes down to you, let's say you're picking 16th and you got 15 guys ahead of you, not exactly sure where they're going to go. Are you looking at overall grade, or are you looking at the specific position need of the team more? Which one are you looking at more?
That's a good question, because people always say, well, we picked the best guy on the board. That's a bunch of malarkey, okay? if you got two great receivers and the highest guy on your board is a receiver, and you need a defensive lineman, and he's marked down about 3 spots, you take that defensive lineman. That's what's happened in the NFL since salary cap came in and free agency came in. You've got to have a solid team all the way around. Now, with that said, the example I just gave you, chances are if the guy is 4 steps below him, 4 players below him, or something like that, their grades are so close. One guy might have a 6.5 and the other guy got a 6.4. Or a 6.3. Well, there's nothing really there. You're basically saying they're the same people. So you do take a need if he's high enough on the board. You don't reach for the need. Like if you're looking for a defensive lineman and there's a guy sitting there on the board and you got to go about 20, 30 guys past him, no, you stay true to the board, you pick the next guy. But most of the time, you've got to have a combination of he's high enough to justify we're taking him because we need him.
Coach, talk to us a little bit about the changing nature of the game in the NFL. No running backs were selected in the first round of the draft last night. You were obviously known for having a really, really strong running game, followed up by a good, sharp passing game. How surprised are you to see the role of the running back so diminished in the NFL?
Well, I'm surprised because I think I'm not trying to be critical of young coordinators, but they're trying to make a name for themselves a little bit. It's a passing league now. It's not what it was 10, 15 years ago. The problem is, if you've got Peyton Manning, or you've got Tom Brady, or Drew Brees, or Aaron Rodgers, or one of those guys, have at it. Throw the ball 60 times a game. But they'll still tell you, those quarterbacks say, I'd like to get a run game going. Now, you've got probably 5 elite quarterbacks in the NFL will throw it. The problem is, if you don't have one of those guys, you better have a run game if you're going to have success. You're going to have to. I mean, all the offshoots of a run game helps pass protection, changes their coverages in the backfield, in the secondary, all those things that allow you to throw the ball better if you have a strong run game. But if you're going to say, I've got this young quarterback and we're going to try to throw the ball as many times as Denver does or New England does or any of those things, you're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. Run the ball. And so like Tom Brady, his first year that he started for them, okay, and they won the Super Bowl, I can tell you the order of progression for them. They had a great run game, they had a great defense, they had a great special teams, and an average pass game when he was young.
All right, Coach, final thought here. Your son is the special teams coordinator on the St. Louis Rams, and last night the Rams got the number 2 pick in the draft and also the number 13 in the pick in the draft. The number 2 pick was courtesy of the Washington Redskins dealing to get the now injured RG3. How impressed were you by the Rams draft selection last night?
I was very impressed. In fact, I hadn't seen that defensive lineman. I don't even know his name. I haven't been able to talk to John. He's
Aaron Donald.
24/7 at the office. But, but I'll tell you what, the guy is, what is he, 6 foot, and he's like 320. And you know what? You know what the biggest thing for him, Dave, is that is to me an advantage? Is all these offensive linemen are getting to be 6'5", okay? And you're trying to block a 6 foot, 320-pound guy that's got explosiveness. It's hard to get down underneath that
That's
guy.
right.
And if that guy's got underneath leverage on you, he's going to push the pocket.
Well, great stuff, Coach. Really a pleasure to have you on today. Anything else going on in this offseason we should take note about? I mean, Jim Fossil is always doing something cool. Anything else you want to promote here real quick before we go?
Well, there's a group of guys that are starting a new league. They're trying to run like the UFL and all that stuff, and they're making progress. And I think they've got a guy that's running the league and president of the league that's pretty sharp, and they've got a lot of people interested, and they have a TV contract that'll pay money, and you never know, because the NFL, they won't admit it. They want another league. They want one to develop players. So it may happen again. I don't know.
Wow, well, that'll be awesome and fascinating and really kind of cool for me.
Looking forward to it.
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what a ride that would be. Great having you with us, Coach Fossil. Have fun for the rest of your summer. Take care, and thanks so much for joining us here on Live Las Vegas.
All right, good to be with you guys.
All right, thanks so much. It's 1:16. We're going to take our first look at traffic here on the show. When we come back, we're talking about some live news.
And for the Kid on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Farmers Insurance believes the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. To find your local agent and get smarter about your insurance, call 888-96-FARMERS. That's 888-96-FARMERS. 95 northbound, that is the Horizon on-ramp of the cleanup phase. Also crashes Russell east of Polaris. Warm Springs at the 215. New incident Lake Mead at Rancho. Lake Mead at Rock Springs, and downtown Las Vegas Boulevard at Carson. For the Kid on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Bring you the K-Dawn Auto Tip of the Week. At Frank's European Service, it is our mission to provide the best European automotive repair and service experience in Las Vegas. That includes helping you stay informed. Frequently, rebuilt engines are better than the engines originally installed at the factory. They're dependable, reliable, and backed by excellent warranties. What are the benefits of keeping your vehicle and replacing your existing engine? Rebuilt engines are a reliable and cost-effective choice over the long run. Rebuilt manufacturer engines get better gas mileage than a worn engine and emit fewer pollutants. Engine rebuilding also saves a tremendous amount of energy used in processing a discarded used engine. Be sure to tune in to KDWN 4:30 p.m. on Saturdays for Frank's Car Care Tips, where we will be discussing anything and everything automobile related and answering your auto questions. If you have a question, visit us at the web at frankseuropeanservice.com. That's frankseuropeanservice.com.
You hear a lot of talk about gold these days. What, with the stock market and more upheaval than tumbleweeds in a tornado? The world-famous Max Pawn is your gold spot in Las Vegas. Don't just send your gold into some random TV guy for pennies on the dollars. Go where you can see what your gold is really worth and get guaranteed market rate for your gold, silver, diamonds, and more. Come visit the world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas at the northeast corner of Sahara and Jones or online at maxpawnlv.com.
Now, back to Live Las Vegas with Dave Carney, Chad Forster, and Tammy Grable.
And welcome back to Live Las Vegas. Chad Forster, Tammy Grable,
boy.
and Dave Carney. I'm Chad Forster. Dave Carney, you just had to slip back in.
Slip out and slip back in. It sounds like a song that they're going to play later on 105.7. You know, it was like, watch out, I'm slipping in. Old school.
That's right.
105.7, the Soul Station. Well, guys, great to talk to Coach Fossil, former head coach of the New York Giants. Took them to the Super Bowl in the year 2000. Really, really great guy. Great friend of Las Vegas, Chad. As you know, during his tenure as head coach of the Las Vegas Locos, really made a home for himself out here in Las Vegas. Love how the community embraces him, and great to have him on. Guys, there is a ton of stuff going on today, though, in the world. Let's jump right into it with some live news.
And now, for an all-new look at stories from around the world and around the town, here's the live news.
All right, here we go. The live news. Following a story that's developing Cliven Bundy's militiamen out at the ranch there in Bunkerville. Some of them are leaving, Chad, going to Balding, Utah this weekend for a protest with the Bureau of Land Management up there. But there's also some reports coming out that the FBI is now investigating some members of either Bundy's family or the militia that were out there.
Yeah, some kind of threats on that day that it's infamous now that the confrontation happened. That some of these police officers under Sheriff Gillespie have said that they were threatened, and so not Gillespie's men, but the BLM men were threatened by some of these guys out there. So the FBI has now started investigating and actually has interviewed Sheriff Gillespie and some of the people underneath him, and they're looking into this specific militiamen that have possibly violated the law. And now when we get the feds involved, who knows what can happen? It could be scary. It could be dangerous. Hopefully, it's all resolved. And I hope those men that supposedly violated this, because they're looking at all kinds of pictures and film and all the stuff that's been taken and thrown on the web, and they're trying to single these guys out. I hope those guys aren't still there. Because if they have to go get them there, that's when it could get ugly.
Yeah, well, definitely. Anytime the FBI gets involved with allegations of
duck and cover,
get out of the way. It's probably not going to end up well. Moving on, guys. This is a story that I have been waiting to talk about literally all week long since I started reading about it on the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the Las Vegas Sun, and pretty much every news outlet across the country. And this is one where I'm also going to want to get some phone calls from, if we can, from our audience. The number to reach us here live in studio, 257-5396, 257-5396. Chad, Tammy, there is a high school in Orange County, California, Laguna Beach, that is holding an NFL-style prom draft in which girls get together. This is a voluntary thing. The girls join this draft, and the boys get to choose the girl based on levels of hotness, how they get ranked. Now, you can also buy picks. You can buy up in the draft. So if you wanted to trade for Joni football, let's call her in this case, at number 2 instead of 22.
Joni football.
You got to pay somebody some cash. What are your thoughts on this?
I think Joni football may slip all the way down to 22, to be honest with you. She'll be sitting in the green room. They'll be checking back and forth to the cameras. It'll just be really embarrassing and just kind of uncomfortable. You know what? If I was 18, 17, 18, 16, something along those lines, I would think this is perhaps the coolest thing of all times.
This
and of course,
is not cool.
just hold on. I preface it by saying if I was that age. Now I find it a little distasteful.
Oh no!
But at the time,
but we know your true feelings
I'm
now.
just saying. You have to put yourself back into high school mentality. Okay, as a guy, high school mentality. I would think this is awesome.
This is genius. Let me just tell you what. If there is not a couple of future Zuckerbergs or others in this group that have devised a way to, first of all, get these young ladies to agree to this, and second of all, found a way to make money off of this, these guys should be running our world, okay?
No kidding. They probably will be.
That is a terrible thing to say. Are you serious?
They're ingenious. Take a calculus class. Throw that out the window. You'll never need that. This right here, this is ingenious. Now, Tammy, obviously, as our woman's perspective, LV Woman Magazine, Las Vegas Woman Magazine, what are your thoughts on this? It's got to be maybe different than ours.
Yeah, it's completely different. Of course, to convince girls, that sounds like you're a pimp. In a draft style, the whole thing is just the whole
they
thing.
volunteer for this.
Yeah, that's true. You got. I mean, I agree with you. It seems a little bit distasteful.
For this. It is very distasteful, and there are going to be girls out there that are going to get hurt by this. And this, I really do believe this is going to evolve. There's going to be bullying with it. There's going to be. This is a terrible thing.
Well, apparently this isn't the first year, though. This has been going on quite a while.
This is the second year that they know about.
That they know about, exactly, that they know about. Because, as a matter of fact, I'm surprised it didn't get closed down in year 1. Are you kidding me?
I don't think anyone knew about it, though. I think it was like more of an internal thing.
Absolutely. They were doing what, generally good, smart kids do when they do something really cool. They keep it away from the people that are going to obviously shut it down.
The thing is, I think it's for the jocks, so, Chad, you wouldn't have been involved with this anyways.
Oh, that hurt. Actually, I was kind of I played football.
You did?
I did. What, do I not look like a jock?
Tammy. Burgers and no-face donuts. I don't know.
What is that supposed to? Look, she's calling me fat on the radio. That hurts.
Well, listen, guys. Here's the greatest thing about
this. But now you see what I mean. The girls are going to be going through what you just went through just now.
I agree. Again, it just depends on where you're coming from, right? It's your point of view. As a kid, I can kind of see it being cool. As a guy, as a girl, the only girls, let's be honest, Tammy, the only girls that don't like this are the ones that aren't very attractive. That's a fact. And Laguna, it's probably hard to find though, because most of them are probably pretty attractive. Let's be honest.
I was going to say, I would like to, just for purely journalistic principles, nothing beyond that. I would like to go down there and film this draft and just see how hot these girls are. Because now let's just...
It could be a reality TV show.
Which should be a reality TV. These guys should get a contract somewhere. I don't know what it is that they want to do after high school. Let's sign them up for some future leaders of America. I really believe that. I think that when you look at this, though...
I really believe that.
The girls that don't get involved with this, like Chad said, are the ones that are probably most likely to be upset. And I do want to hear if there is any other, point of view like Tammy. 702-257-5396. Chime in. Now, Tammy, you think that this could lead to bullying, but what
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go.
What if this was your daughter, and she was not a not so attractive daughter, but really intelligent? Of course, you'll love your daughter.
In your face, Dave. That's a good point.
Well, first of all, I mean, listen, do we really need to go into the genetical conversation? I would say that's your fault. All right, so your daughter's not attractive. Who are you supposed to blame
I'm asking if it's your daughter.
If it was my daughter, she'd be a smoke show. She'd be a number, she'd be an 8.5. Are you kidding me?
Oh, boy.
My daughter would be hot, and I'd be like, no, you went third in the draft. We couldn't have moved you up to first. I mean, is there a way we could lobby
for this? Now, that's the thing. Can you trade up? I mean, I know you can trade down. Can you trade up, though?
Well, yeah, you can trade up. And actually, you talk about why this is actually coming to light now. How did this get leaked out? Apparently, there was a senior in this prom draft that got her pick traded for a sophomore. And the sophomore being a little hotter than her.
Ego was bruised.
The senior said, this is not good, and somehow leaked it out there. So you're right, Tammy. There could be, some feelings involved there because... obviously any woman, no matter what, if she's a senior, if she's, 45 or 35, she doesn't want to get replaced by a younger woman.
Well, I've been a proponent of having at least 2 years of high school before you can enter the prom draft for years now. So I would agree with that. I can see where she's a little upset. Obviously, her ego got bruised and she's a little jealous. But let's be honest, they should have at least 2 years experience before you get into that kind of draft. I mean, this is some serious stuff here, Tammy. I mean, these guys aren't messing around.
Oh,
when they go with their top pick, they want it to be a top pick. Okay, we can't have rookies in this.
Well, they made special exception, I think, for this one girl. She was considered the LeBron James of the class. I mean, just dunking over all the other girls, and she had to get a special exception.
Okay, yeah, she came out early, and she's really good, and she's, as Dave would say, a smoke show. Then I guess you got to let her in because if from the guy's perspective, you're like, absolutely. Bring her in. And look at Tammy just got this face.
There has to be a consensus with who accepts these girls.
Well, that's a good point. I guess you wait till you go in the draft. I mean, you take a risk. The onus of risk is on the girl for putting themselves in the draft to begin with. Because let's say that you're just, you're a little delusional, right? And you have these delusions of grandeur, and you think you're a 10. In reality, you're a 2. That could be really tragic in a draft setup like this. And this is where all joking aside, this could be a bullying situation, and it could be very serious, I guess, just because of the way everybody's so sensitive nowadays. Back
no tolerance.
Like 20 years ago, I think it would have been fine. It probably would have flown. No one would have even known about it.
Again, we're talking about a certain kind of rite of passage here. To me, we're talking about
something.
Rite
of passage.
Well, yeah. I mean, kids have historically done stupid, dangerous stuff as rites of passages. This seems to me as a pretty good way.
I saw 300. I know what you're talking about.
You do. See, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you got to face that tiger in the woods or that big giant wolf or whatever.
That's right. That's right.
Similar. It's just similar. Going up in the prom
draft. Face each other
draft.
in that little, cubby hole thinking like, God, what are we doing here? No, but you're looking at it like this. If you're looking for a rite of passage like this, and you basically have a similar group, right? Like a whole bunch of girls that basically hang out together and a whole bunch of guys that basically hang out together, and you want to avoid the problem of a girl getting asked out twice. You don't want to go, and ask the girl that you really wanted to because your buddy
and that's what they say. This is the reason why, and that they don't base it all on looks and all that. But the reality is, come on, we're all superficial to a degree.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, the other way to look at this, though, is if I remember back to prom, you pretty much know who you want to ask out anyway. And the majority of these people that I think are really participating in this all know each other, and they all know how it's going to shake out to begin with.
Here's the one thing: what if this gets so blown up that there's a new rule and a new law that prom is canceled? Any dance is canceled because it causes...
What is this, Footloose? I mean, come on. Kevin Bacon's going to be pissed off.
Yeah, really.
Don't put Kevin Bacon in the corner. That's not cool. I just mixed two 80s movies together.
And thus we have just started a new segment. We're going to pimp you guys on later. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. And followed up by 6 Degrees of Bob Dylan. Stay tuned for that. It will be fun stuff. Well, listen, I think, first of all, it seems pretty harmless. Nobody seems to really get hurt in this. If you don't want to be in the draft, you don't have to take part in the draft. So at least they're not subjecting, a whole school, say, in... I don't know.
Well, that's just it, because a lot of times in these high school situations, I was involved, and I'm ashamed of this. At one point in my high school career, we actually encouraged this girl that was a little overweight to participate in trying out for the cheerleading squad.
You need to Facebook her and apologize.
Listen, I feel bad about this. I really do. I'm not the architect of it, but I did participate. She got on the cheer squad, and it was rather comical, I have to admit, but I feel bad.
She got on the cheer squad.
She did, but she shouldn't have been on there. I'll just put it that way.
Well, I'll leave you guys with this thought, and who knows, maybe this is what happens when you get involved with prom drafts or other sort of teenage ribbing. A Florida man wants to marry his porn-laden MacBook computer, and the courts are saying he can't do that. I wonder why.
It's unfortunate.
All right, it's 1:30. We're going to step aside, take our second look at traffic here on Live Las Vegas. When we come back, we are getting on with Joey Galone, talking about one of the biggest galas in town. Stay with us.
Not near your radio? Remember, you can take KDWN with you wherever you go. Listen live online at KDWN.com or on your mobile device or tablet with iRadio Now, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. News Talk 720 KDWN, where locals come to talk.
AP Update. I'm Ed Donahue. President Obama is promoting solar power and energy efficiency during a swing through California. The AP's Sagar Magani has the story.
The president stood amid the shelves at a San Francisco Bay Area Walmart in announcing new steps to deploy solar technology, something he says is already taking hold across the nation.
Every 4 minutes, another American home or business goes solar.
He says more than 300 businesses and state and local governments are pledging to use solar, which he says not only cuts American dependence on foreign oil, but creates new jobs and helps fight climate change.
This is what you call a win-win-win.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
The Obama administration says the solar effort will power the equivalent of 130,000 homes, and the president's administrative actions could reduce carbon pollution in an amount equal to taking 80 million cars off the road for 1 year. AP Update, I'm Ed Donahue.
The news brought to you by Farmers Insurance. At Farmers Insurance, they believe the more you know, the better you can plan. Find your local agent at farmers.com or call 888-96-FARMERS. Brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
It's 1:32 on the Kid on Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. Starting to get slow traffic flows on the ramp leaving South 95, merging on to 15 South. Going to crash North 95, the Horizon on-ramp. Warm Springs at the 215. And entry accidents, Lake Mead at Rock Springs and Carson at Las Vegas Boulevard. For the Kid on Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Hi, this is Ken Thompson from SportsX Radio, inviting you to join me each and every night, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m., right here, 50,000 watt AM 720 KDWN, for the greatest in sports talk, breaking down all the games. SportsX Radio, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m., sponsored by Canna Racing Sportsbook.
It's a new year, so you deserve a new you. Wouldn't it be nice to finally quit worrying about crooked or missing teeth? If you've been putting it off for a while because of the cost, then you should see Dr. Miracondia and his staff at AQ Denture in Henderson, because AQ stands for affordable quality. Dental implants, dentures, or dental services are more affordable than you think. Call AQ today at 702-565-6000. That's 702-565-6000, and smile again. Call AQ 702-565-6000.
Dave Carney here, inviting you to the all-new Live Las Vegas with me and my new co-host, Chad Forster. Every Friday from 1 till 2, Chad and I break down top Vegas news, sports from around the country, and entertainment in a really fun way. Yeah, that's right, talk radio can actually be fun. Live Las Vegas every Friday at 1.
Mother's Day is this Sunday, and Pro Flowers is offering an amazing special. 100 stunning blooms for mom, plus a free glass vase for just $19.99. Go to proflowers.com and enter the secret code 5757. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this Friday. 100 colorful blooms for mom, guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 full days for only $19.99, plus a free glass vase. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to proflowers.com, click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner, and enter the secret code 5757.
How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt completely forgiven? National Credit Card Relief wants to give you free information that gives you the secret. This is a proven program thousands have used to have their credit card debt forgiven. It helps with credit card bills, doctor bills, and department store debt. So don't miss out. Call for your free debt forgiveness information now at 800-375-1175. That's 800-375-1175. 800-375-1175.
Now, back to Live Las Vegas with Dave Carney, Chad Forster, and Tammy Grable.
All right, welcome back to Live Las Vegas here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Dave Carney, sitting beside my co-host here, Chad Forster.
Does it feel better?
It does. It feels a lot better.
He's back in his
I'm
original
back
chair.
in the saddle
So
again.
a little behind the scenes stuff. Dave was in this other chair and it just
Next
threw
to
him off
me.
the first
It was
half
really
hour.
uncomfortable.
You know, I think I did, very admirably. What are you talking about?
I think you did a great job, but I mean, I could see you were uncomfortable.
Well, it's because I was getting side view. I don't like side view. I want full frontal view.
I like side boob.
Well, me too. Well, who doesn't like that?
Is that the same as side view?
Nah, sort of.
Okay.
I mean, that's like in a magazine when you get a little side boob, you're like, wow, that's awesome. Look at that.
It feels like a bonus. It
does.
That was worth that $1.75 I just spent on that really crappy magazine.
You make me want to watch a Scarlett Johansson movie now.
Oh, Johansson, not
Whatever.
Johansson.
Is it Johansson? Is that the wrong pronunciation?
She is quite attractive,
yes,
I would
she
say.
Is. Would we label her a smoke show? I bet you she got a top 10 pick in the draft.
She's actually the voice in that movie, Her, the operating system.
Is that right? No wonder it was such a big success. And we're going to talk about this movie, Her, and more about this MacBook story craziness from Florida in just a little bit. But right now, guys, we've got on with us from the 9th annual Senoras of Distinction Gala coming up this weekend, Joey Galone. Joey, thanks so much for joining us here on Live Las Vegas. How are you, bud?
Hey, my pleasure, Dave and Tammy and Chad. It's good to spend some time with you as we prep last minute for one of Las Vegas's premier events, which is tomorrow. We're all excited about it.
Yeah, we're so excited, Joey. And, we go way back in as far as charity work and foundations here in the community. And I'm so excited to hear that you're involved with this. Can you tell us what scholarships you guys are giving it to and who's involved?
Absolutely. Well, Tammy, this is my 4th year on the red carpet as a host.
Wow.
And it's definitely one of the premier events. And it's certainly my pleasure to be able to support this organization founded by my dear friend Sandy Pelton 9 years ago. So this is the 9th annual. And it's in recognition of our finest philanthropists and all various professions around Las Vegas. We've awarded about 500 education scholarships to Nevada students, making their college dreams a reality. This particular year, we have so many honorees, especially honoring Chairman Governor Brian Sandoval. We've got so many other celebrities. And let me tell you a little bit about the scholarships that we've honored. The UNLV Foundation, Nevada State College, College of Southern Nevada, Nevada Hospital Association, the Puerto Rican Association Scholarship Fund, the CAO of UNLV, Heart for Children for Autism, and the Latin Chamber Foundation for Scholarships Fund.
Wow.
And each year we honor about 9 honorees, and this year we're honoring Phyllis A. James, Elizabeth Gallagher, Rossi Rellencotter, Peter Guzman, Parvin Madavar Jacobs, Waldo de Castroverde, Jack Weinstein, Mike Tyson, and the Nevada Energy. And so many more have supported this event every single year, and so many have been affected positively through scholarships.
Now, Joe, you just mentioned all those names, and one kind of stuck out to me because they didn't. He's like, which one looks different than the rest? I mean, it's different than all the rest. Mike Tyson in the middle of those names. How is Mike Tyson associated with all these other great people? I mean, I'm not saying that Mike Tyson's not great, but...
Oh, you know what? Just like all of these individuals and countless others, they've been very supportive of this organization and really making a difference to so many students. And they've definitely been a part of the Senoras of Excellence and the Senoras of Distinction, which you will be honored as tomorrow. So we're looking forward to it. He's definitely been a great support.
Yeah, and then I see a special appearance by Boys to Men, my favorite.
Boys to Men will be there as well. We're all looking forward to their presentation. And, of course, we can't thank Mirage Hotel enough for all that they've been participating and supporting us with this event. And so many great surprises this year. And, gosh, I can't believe 9 years has gone by already with this amazing, local, truly a Las Vegas iconic event.
So can people still get tickets?
You know what? We are sold out, unfortunately, which is a good problem to have. We're almost at 600 guests at this point, and but if anybody still wants to donate to the organization, let me give you a number they can call at, and then hopefully prepare for some of the smaller events leading up to the 10th anniversary next year. But that phone number that they can still send donations to is area code 702, of course, 0007, and somebody from the foundation will contact them right away. And, of course, we'll post pictures and video, and several radio and other TV stations as well will be covering it. So lots of media there, lots of great folks, and hopefully if you can't make it this year, hopefully you can make it next year. And next year will be the 10th anniversary of the Senores of Excellence and Senores of Distinction event.
Well, Joey, it's been such a pleasure to have you on here with us on Live Las Vegas today. Now, don't forget, when you're giving away the phone number, now you have to add 702-898-0007. That's 702.
Yeah, don't forget the 702.
0007. Joey Galone, thank you so much for joining us today on Live Las Vegas. Great luck tomorrow. I would say break a leg, but this is a live stage, so I don't want to, I don't want to do anything bad.
We don't want that.
Hope I don't break a leg, but I hope to see you all on the red carpet upon the entrance into the event tomorrow.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for the time.
All right, thanks so much. Joey Galone, of course, hosting the 9th Annual Senora of Distinction Gala coming up at the Mirage. And like you said, Tammy, Boys to Men are there. I mean, you've got luminaries such as Mike Tyson.
I love that. That's why I want to go now. I love Mike Tyson.
Listen,
that came out wrong. I didn't want that wasn't derogatory at all.
You know what? He's done a lot for the community. He did a job fair last year as Mike Tyson Cares. He's doing his thing
I follow him on Twitter, and he always has some really inspirational tweets. Every day he puts something up there, and I can't recall one, but I mean, every day he has something inspirational, and that's why I follow him. I think it's kind of cool. He has a different take on life.
I heard Mike was just really interested in giving back to the female community.
Oh,
so that's maybe why he's on there. But again, guys, when you do dial the number now, though, you've got to remember to dial 702-257-5396, 702-257.
So, am I the only one that had to go into my cell phone and change all my numbers? And it took the whole weekend? Did anybody else have to go through that? I was so pissed off.
I'll just do it as it comes along. Why
because I'm lazy. I don't have to add the extra. I just throw the number in there.
I was going to say, that doesn't seem lazy at all. You dedicate a whole weekend to your cell phone.
But I was lazy initially in not putting the 702 in there because I didn't need it. And so then I had to go back and put the 702 in there because I'm not a 775 guy. I'll just tell you that.
Oh, God forbid.
The 775 bus is leaving back to Reno. Hop on it. Get out of here because I want to just have 702.
That's the short bus back to Reno, right? I think that's a country song, breaking charts right now. The AMAs.
Johnny Cash wrote that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the short bus back to Reno. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, circling back here to one of the stories that I found absolutely fascinating over this past week, Chad, and you were actually good enough to tip me off the UK's Telegraph. First posted
weird.
This article, but there is a Florida man that is suing right now to be able to marry his porn-laden MacBook computer. He says that he has developed a relationship with this computer, and because of that, he should be allowed to marry the object of his sexual desire.
I don't know what to say. I mean, here's the thing. It's not like this is the first guy to ever marry something that most people wouldn't consider something you would marry, like, let's say, a horse, because there's been those situations where people have tried to marry animals. So there's a lot of whack jobs out there, but I think this guy's trying to prove some kind of point about gay marriage or something, and that it's stupid to limit it. I mean, let's be honest. Who cares who you marry? I don't care. Marry your computer. Enjoy yourself.
When I was in my animal husbandry class, I didn't realize that it was actually about how to get animals to mate. I thought I was going there to be an animal husband. It's all different.
There's a lot of that class is different down south. I'll just put it that way.
It is. It's quite a bit different. Tammy, what do you think about this? Because apparently, and Chad and I didn't even really realize that this is kind of a cultural phenomenon, though, people falling in love with their devices.
It's a cultural. So and we were just talking about this. They have a movie. I just got it on Netflix called Her with Joaquin Phoenix. And
Joaquin Phoenix? Joaquin Phoenix. Gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry.
And he married, and he doesn't marry. He has a relationship with his operating system.
How does he?
So I told my husband he's not allowed to update his operating system.
That's got to be a hell of an operating system if you can end up having a relationship with it. So this movie did this ever hit the theaters, or was this straight to Netflix?
No, it hit the theaters, and I didn't want to watch it, and my sister picked this movie to watch. We were over at her house, and it was really uncomfortable to watch. I mean, really uncomfortable.
I could imagine. And by the way, Netflix now $8.99 instead of $7.99, which I'm a little upset about.
You know what, though?
You're just upset about everything.
I'm upset about everything. I'm pissed off.
Listen, I'll tell you what. When they explained it to me so kindly that it was in order to bring us more new movies, because I got this email this morning from Netflix telling me my $7.99 to $8.99.
I got the same email.
When I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, well, Well, for more new movies. And look, Orange is the New Black Season 2 is coming up June 6th. I mean, of course Netflix can be $8.99.
How about a movie about a guy that has a sexual relationship with his operating system? You're not going to get that for $7.99.
Right.
$8.99 and you have unlimited movies. Let's go back to the days of going to rent a movie and walking in somewhere.
We're spoiled.
We're so spoiled now.
I used to go to. Hey, listen,
about it.
listen. I used to go to Albertsons with my mom, and we had to rent the VCR with the movie and a bucket of chicken for like, I think $12. I mean, it was amazing. So that's the difference. I mean, yeah, it was kind of a pain because you had to go home and try to figure out how to hook this thing up to your television, but it was pretty cheap.
You know what? I remember that, not with the bucket of chicken necessarily, but I remember going
There's
to
always food involved.
I was going to say, this was a picture of how, we are where we are today. It was VHS tapes and buckets of chicken, right?
Albertsons has good chicken. Back in the day, they had great chicken.
They still have solid chicken.
Get a little coleslaw, some potato salad. It's a movie with a VCR, you're set.
Now you're talking my language.
Hello,
right.
1986.
You should marry your chicken.
I might.
Hey, just watch out. That'll be coming soon to an Alabama courthouse near you. All right, guys, it is 1:45 here. We are going to step aside, take our final look at traffic here on Live Las Vegas. When we come back, we're going to be talking to some folks from downtown Las Vegas's Stitch Factory. Stay tuned.
And at 1:45 at the Kid on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, you're still stacked up on the ramp as you leave South 95, merging on to Interstate 15, bumper to bumper through there. Also crashes 95 north at Horizon. A new incident, 215 west at Windmill. Warm Springs at the 215, that's in the cleanup stage. Russell east of Polaris, and entries Rock Springs at Lake Mead. For the Kid on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Attention men, are you one of the millions suffering from ED? Has Viagra or Cialis failed you? Are you suffering from low T or just wish you could last longer? New Male Medical Center can help you discover the new you. Their doctors offer state-of-the-art FDA-approved treatments that are 98% effective. You'll see results on your very first visit. Their treatments will work even when Viagra and Cialis have failed. Guaranteed. Call New Male Medical Center at 702-505-4414 today to schedule your no-obligation appointment. Calling now is the best decision you will ever make for your sexual health. Join the thousands of patients who are no longer suffering because they had the courage to call. 702-505-4414. That's 702-505-4414. New Male Medical Center. Discover the new you. 702-505-4414. That's 702-505-4414.
Nevada is shutting down all its coal-fired power plants, and by law, NVE must replace that power source with more renewable facilities. You know, like those gigantic mirror-driven solar complexes that are cooking birds in mid-flight. How much will all that new hardware cost? Billions? Will NVE start passing that expense on to you? Don't pay for everybody else's solar. Get your own. Go solar without killing birds and take control of your energy bill with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. Get tax breaks, big monthly energy savings, and get something no one else is offering. A high-tech new device that protects all your home electronics and appliances free. And it comes with a $25,000 home appliance protection warranty. Paying $150 a month or more on energy bills? Get tax incentives and an outrageous $25,000 home appliance protection warranty. Call 1-800-MY-SOLAR for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
My home, my savings. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
Listen to John Brislin live for the best in political talk Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. John Brislin hits hard and tells it like it is. The only way to turn double talk into straight talk. Call in Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. with John Brislin live on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Hi, this is Michael Mack, owner of world-famous Mack's Pawn in Las Vegas. You ever wondered what those valuables are worth? Had a pawn question but didn't know who to ask? I have the solution for you. Join me and Dave Carney every Friday from 2 to 3 for Pawn Talk Live here on News Radio 720 KDWN.
Now, back to Live Las Vegas with Dave Carney, Chad Forster, and Tammy Grable.
Welcome back to Live Las Vegas here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Dave Carney, joined by my co-host Chad Forrester, and from Las Vegas Woman Magazine, Tammy Grable. Guys, really great stuff here today on the show. Thanks so much to Joey Gallone for calling us here from the 9th annual Senoras of Distinction event this weekend. Going to be fun stuff. And again, thanks to Jim Fossil, former head coach of the New York Giants, for joining us in our first segment, talking a little NFL draft. Now, tonight, I think it's actually coming up here in just a couple of hours. We've got the second round of the draft. And from my inside sources, which is SI.com, it looks like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be going
Texans
to
have
the Texans.
First pick in the second round,
Sure
as
do.
well as the first pick in the first round. Now, a lot of people are saying that they might trade that pick.
They tried to trade the first pick in the first round.
Well, you're right, but I'm talking about the second pick or the first pick in the second round. If you're following along, Tammy, you following along? No.
I have.
But let me tell you something. I think you're going to see a lot of fireworks because you always do in rounds 2 and 3. This is where you're going to see a lot of jockeying and stuff. Obviously, the Browns, man, they were really active last night, but I think you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff coming in the second and the third round.
Aggressive stuff going on there. And, if you're an aggressive football player, maybe tore up your shirt, you're going to probably need to know how to fix that up. And we're going to bring on some folks who probably know a thing or two about fixing up torn clothes and probably making a whole lot of new clothes. We've got Jen with us from the Stitch Factory on the line. Jen, how the heck are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
Well, we are fantastic. It's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. The weather is finally at its, peak, pristine, perfect nature. So I don't think we could be doing any better.
I agree. It is beautiful out. I'm actually outside right now having this phone call.
Well, glad you could join us in the great weather of Las Vegas. Still be with us here on the show. Jen, tell us a little bit about the Stitch Factory, because this is part of downtown, the downtown project in downtown Las Vegas's revitalization. And I've got to tell you, from looking at the website, this is really cool.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, we're a business that's been funded by Downtown Project. So we're actually in the small business umbrella. And the idea of Stitch Factory is to support local and emerging designers. So it's a creative fashion space. So we have anything from education, from fun DIY Pinterest projects, all the way to technical classes. We do a bunch of 9-week courses going in through sewing, draping, and all of that. We also have the studio as ready for designers to come rent. So if a designer is ready to create their collection, they have the tables, the dress forms, the industrial machinery, which is really crucial because a lot of times you go to school and you have this whole sewing lab, and then you leave and you don't have anything. So it's a great setup for, starting designers. And then we also do production. So we do sample making, pattern making, light manufacturing, brand building, consulting, and all of that. So we have a lot of fun over there.
Now, Jen, let me ask you a sewing question. I have a hole in my pants. Should I use an iron-on, or should I take it to a professional and utilize the darning technique on that hole in my trousers?
It's depending on what look you're looking for. For a big trend right now is big holes in your pants, so you might be okay.
Where the hole is at, he's going to need to fix it.
Yeah, I gotta fix that.
I guess it's depending on where the hole is. That is correct.
I don't want to get arrested, Jen. I was just wondering if I should use the darning technique or go with that iron-on patch.
Either one. Patch is always fun, too.
Yeah,
I'll consult a professional. I think maybe that's like yourself.
I think you take it down to the Stitch Factory, but
stitch me up.
When you see Chad's out, you'll see his outfit. It's a jug with 2 X's on it, in his clothes.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can definitely bring it by. We don't normally do alterations and things like that. We usually do custom pieces and then all the way into bring it into a collection. But we can definitely teach you if you want to come into one of our classes and teach you how to fix it up, so then you can do it for yourself later.
Yeah, because we're getting out of fat season, so I got to start, trimming things down a little bit, and you got to take those pants, that waist in. So that's another thing I might have to do.
All right, let's do it.
So,
come on in.
Jen, you mentioned the classes. So I was on your website. It looks like you have classes starting from $15 all the way up to $2,500. Tell us a little bit more about the classes.
Yeah, so usually the ones that are under 100 are usually more fun, Pinterest, kind of do it yourself, and kind of a good way to show you some techniques and what to do. And they're really great gateways to see if you're interested in going into the career fashion of design, creating, whatever that may mean to you. But then we also offer those technical classes. One of our education director is, a professor at one of the local schools in fashion design, and he is a designer himself. So he's really helped us build this program. So it is at a collegiate level of quality of teaching. The idea is to give it a timed and broken up into segments so people can go at their own pace and break up the payments and really look at it, or take it all at one time. So you're not committing to 4 years. You can take a 9-week course here and then take the next advanced level and then keep going at your rate.
Jen, let me ask you a question about one of the coolest features, in my opinion, about the Stitch Factory, and that's your membership space. You guys have plans for small business owners, people that are freelancers, even community folks, to be able to take advantage of your space. Why don't you share a little bit of that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have different tiers. The first one is it's $120 for the year. It's our community membership. And with that, it's pretty much a networking opportunity. We do a lot of mentors. We bring people in. So the third week of every month, we host a fashion speaker series downtown, and we invite fashion enthusiasts from all over the world that come and spend time with us. We've had some amazing, amazing speakers in the past. and they take time to engage with our members, engage with the downtown community, and then we do workshops, and then some of our guests are speakers. So then they do free talks and stuff downtown as well. So with that 120 community membership, you kind of know the more secretive one-on-one moments with our guests. And then we also have different mixers and different opportunities. Like next week, we have Made in Downtown Las Vegas, which is an amazing event that we've opened up to our design members to submit designs to potentially go into a clothing brand named Chaser for their holiday 2014 collection. And the winner will actually be sold exclusively online at funglowclothing.com, which is a local boutique here. And then they'll get a hang tag saying who they are on the garment, and they'll also get a percentage of royalty. And then they'll be put in all the storefronts that Chaser's represented in around the states and the world.
Nice.
So,
I love the speaker events, Jen. Where can people find out more about what events you have coming up?
you can go to stitchfactory.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we post everything there as well.
All right, Jen, I have one question left here. It's a fashion question. Is the UGG boot trend, is that over with? Because I'm really hoping it is. Are we done with UGG boots?
Hey, Andrew Leontali was just in town here not too long ago, and he rocks his UGG boots all the time. But Vegas is tough. It's hot here, so.
Yeah, nothing you need more than, a highly furred animal on your foot during the middle of 116 degrees.
They're fancy moon boots, let's be honest.
All right, well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us here today on Live Las Vegas. Hope to get a chance to talk to you again sometime in the future. And do visit Stitch Factory online or downtown, online at stitchfactory.com, or, of course, find them right in the heart of downtown. Jen, thanks so much for being our guest today.
Of course, thank you.
All right, thanks so much. And, got to tell you guys, I'm really enjoying all the stuff that the Downtown Project, Downtown Las Vegas, is doing right now. It is revitalizing our city in the middle, I guess, of what we could still call an economic collapse.
Well, yeah, that's one way of putting it. Absolutely.
That's a very dramatic way of putting it.
No, but I think it's true, though. I mean, recession, whatever you want to call it, you want to dress it up, put lipstick on a pig, I guess. But you're right. And the cool thing about downtown is they're doing unique things, like the Stitch Factory, like the Marketplace. I mean, like O-Face Donuts. It's all unique. It's none of this chain crap that you can get anywhere. You can only get it here, and that's what's going to draw the people in. And if you need something darned or darning, you can go down to the Stitch Factory.
Yeah,
we know that now.
Even though they say they don't do it, you look at you look at all the creative folks that hang out down there, like the individual artists. I'm sure somebody will darn you up.
I would hope so.
And speaking of downtown, just real quick shout out. A couple of weeks ago, Chad, we were given a kind of a behind the scenes, all access look at the Container Park, and got to tell you, that was really, truly fascinating. Seeing how that whole thing comes together on 1.3 acres, it's just a marvel of modern technology.
It really is, because they can occupy that small space and put a lot in it. It's pretty remarkable, and it feels bigger than it is. Because Dave's down there going,
it's that small.
Dave's like, what is it, 5 acres? And these guys like, no, it's like 1.3.
Wow.
Wow, you've really done a great job to make this look bigger than it is.
Yeah, my spatial orientation was not my strong suit in kindergarten.
Apparently not.
I'm still trying to figure out the whole acres thing, but great stuff down there. Now, guys, you did mention this, Chad, at the beginning of the show, and we're going to talk lots more about it in Pawn Talk Live today. But this weekend is Mother's Day, so big shout out to my mother, my grandmother, who I know are all listening online, KDWN.com. Chad, Tammy, would like to do the same?
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
There you go.
Happy Mother's Day, Mommy.
I'm actually going home.
You are.
Not necessarily just for Mother's Day, but I am going home. So that's my present to my mom.
That's great. And I know that you're going to have a wonderful time. We're going to miss you next week, though, Chad. We got a lot of fun coming up in Las Vegas.
In.
Well, we'll see about that. Don't get ahead of yourself. We're not going to miss you that much. We're not going to miss you that much. We'll wait till you get back. All right, guys, stay tuned with us here on Pawn Talk Live, coming up right after these words.
Luxury shops in Las Vegas aren't new. What is new, however, is luxury meeting value. At the world-famous Max Pawn, we specialize in marrying the two. With some of the finest selections of watches, designer handbags, sunglasses, and more, the luxury never stops. Every day, new items are added in-store and online. From Gucci and Chanel to Hermes and Louis Vuitton, Max Pawn delivers all the top luxury brands at a fraction of the price. Visit us online at maxpawnlv.com or browse our showroom in Las Vegas. The world-famous Max Pawn, where luxury meets value.
The music, the memories, the magic of the era. Your entertainment destination, the Showroom at South Point, presents Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. Live in concert, May 9th through the 11th. Tickets in the South Point box office. Online at southpointcasino.com or charged by phone 702-797-8055. Gary Puckett and the Union Gap at the South Point.
On Saturday, May 10th, letter carriers and other U.S. Postal Service employees and volunteers throughout Nevada will participate in America's largest single day of giving, the National Association of Letter Carriers Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive. Just leave a non-perishable food donation in a bag by the mailbox on Saturday, May 10th, and the postal carriers will do the rest. It's that simple, and millions of Americans will be helped.
Remember, from now on, you need to dial the 702 to reach KDWN. Want to get us by phone? 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-5396.